Hey guys, Marsin here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so today we are going to talk about what is going on in Dokkan at the moment. Well, I say what is going on because there's not a huge amount going on in Dokkan at the moment. So more so we are going to be talking about when is the next major release, when is there actually going to be something going on in Dokkan, and see exactly just how long we have to wait in order for this new content to come out. Because we are in the part 2 of this Daima celebration, where we saw the release of the Daima Goku as the part 1 unit. We obviously had the release of the manga 40th anniversary celebration stuff kind of in the middle with the manga banner. All that really brought with it obviously was the banner, the daily stage for farming the skill orbs for the units, and then of course the special battle event that could be accessed once you unlocked all of the manga panel, like manga covers. And then of course we moved into part 2 with Goma. Now unfortunately, since Goma's release, we've had we had a couple of burst modes. We've got Petan again is obviously still on, although that's part of the anniversary for the manga anniversary thing, to be fair. It's kind of disappointing that it seems like the end of this celebration really is kind of upon us, and we've not gotten any sort of final piece of content like an EZA or something like that people were kind of expecting or looking forward to. So we have to look ahead to what is going to come next. And we know the only thing we know of currently in terms of things that we actually have confirmation that have been announced that are coming is the Daima Red Zone Stage 3 is going to be releasing on Friday the 28th. So that leaves us in the situation of, you know, what else is happening? Because the Goma celebration, like, in theory, this would be part of that because it's in this news section. It is, you know, it's still like a few days from now, but it's like over a week from Goma's release. And the big question is, what is the other stuff that should be coming, or what should we be expecting? Because this drops on the 28th of November. But if we take a look over on the wiki at the previous 2 years releases, we can see here with the Tech Buhan, and then the AGL Android 21. So these are the end of November Dokkan Fest releases for 2023 and 2024. And we can see here that Buhan came out on the 29th of November, whereas Android 21 came out on the 30th. So it was actually 2023, the 30th of November. And then last year, it was a day earlier. The character dropped on the 29th. So realistically, considering that this year, the 29th and the 30th are a Saturday and a Sunday, which stuff never releases on a Saturday and Sunday in Dokkan in terms of banners and things like that. That means we should be expecting the end of November Dokkan Fest to probably drop on the 28th, which is the day that Daima Red Zone stage comes out. So that makes perfect sense for that to be the release date for that, because we already have at least one other piece of content that we know about dropping on that day, right? Which, as I said, is currently the only thing that we actually know is confirmed that is going to be dropping at that time. So I very much am expecting now that the next Dokkan Fest is going to drop at this time and is going to be happening on the 28th. The big question, of course, is who and what is it going to be, which is obviously something that we kind of have no real way to know, or no real way to guess. Like with these filler Dokkan Fests, it kind of just is one of those things where realistically, like, it could be anything. And so we don't really know exactly what to think, but there are two major things, right? Like I said, the only piece of content we know about is a new Daima Red Zone stage. So a lot of people have been saying a new Daima character, which would be interesting for them to essentially be continuing dropping the Daima stuff after Goku and Goma have come out. You would think potentially they would move on to something else, but I think it's definitely a possibility. People have mentioned things like Ku and Do as like a reverse exchange, or I guess, to be fair, it's going to be a filler Dokkan Fest TUR. So it would, if it was going to be Ku and Do, it would be like a joined forces unit, I think, more so. Other than that, really, for Daima, there isn't really anything else, because obviously we're all expecting Adult Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Adult Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta to be either anniversary or, you know, something a bit more prestigious than just a random filler Dokkan Fest, even though obviously they did do that for Kid Goku, to be fair, or mini Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku, I should say. So there is a Daima option, but I just think they're very limited outside of like Ku and Do as who they could actually do for a filler Dokkan Fest. And then, of course, the other thing to consider, and it's something that, you know, we'll never stop talking about on this channel, and especially at this point, not stop talking about this for this year until it actually happens, but the Heroes EZAs that we are still supposed to be getting, right? They mentioned last year, as I've said 100 times at this point, when they said that we're not doing Heroes celebrations anymore, they said, but the characters that still need to get EZAs, like, will still get their EZAs. But you have to think, like, when is that going to happen? Because when they gave us that information, they didn't tell us when to expect this to happen. And the Heroes celebration last year was slightly earlier. I think we talked about this in previous videos. The Heroes celebration last year, I think, was on the 12th. Whereas the couple of years before, as you can see from the date on this Goku, was the 22nd. So we're at the point now where if Heroes was still a thing, the Heroes celebration would have either started on Friday or would be starting at the beginning of this coming week on like the 25th or the 24th. But we've now reached the point where, because the last year's one, as I say, was slightly earlier, we've now reached the point where the previous Heroes celebration was over a year ago. And so despite the fact that they made that announcement that these characters are still going to get their EZAs, we have not had any news or any hint as to when that is going to be. Now, a lot of people have speculated very different things. I've seen people suggesting that like maybe they just won't EZA this year and that they're saving it for something else, which is a possibility, right? They never gave a time frame, so they could end up EZAing like just after the anniversary or something, if like let's say the Saiyan Day character is like a Super Saiyan 4, for example. But I feel like if they are going to still be dropping them around the similar sort of time frame with November, that again brings us back to this date that we're talking about now, with the 28th being later this week and the release of the next Dokkan Fest. Because the next Dokkan Fest exclusive, whilst I can obviously keep that cope and like dream alive that we will get another crossover Dokkan Fest, which, you know, remember 2 years ago, end of November Dokkan Fest was a crossover character. We could get a crossover character, and then it would make perfect sense to drop the Heroes EZAs at the same time, because assumingly that character, regardless of who they are, even if it's like a Xenoverse character or a Fighters character again, like a Super Divers, as we talked about potentially, like that character would probably have crossover as part of their leader skill, and then you drop all the Heroes EZAs, maybe those old Xenoverse characters and stuff like that, right? Or the character, you know, as much as I want it to be crossover, the character could be a Super Saiyan 4, because, you know, the 4 of the big EZAs for this year are Super Saiyan 4s. You've got the Limit Breaker Goku and Vegeta, you've got the normal Super Saiyan 4 Gohan and Bardock. So if a Dokkan Fest Super Saiyan 4 character came out as the end of November Dokkan Fest, it would make sense to drop the Heroes EZAs at the same time, even though a couple of them wouldn't be relevant for that team, but the link would be there at least. Or they could also end up being a Time Travelers character. We know we've got lots of Future Saga characters from like the Trunks, not the like Super Future Saga with Rose, but like the Trunks and the Androids Future Saga. There's a lot of those characters that still need EZAs. AGL Trunks, AGL LR Future Gohan and Trunks, the Tech Androids. So the Dokkan Fest for the end of November could be a Time Travelers character, and then they could still drop the Heroes EZAs at that same time, because they would be dropping with a character who, if they had a Time Traveler's leader skill, would still have a relevant leader skill for the Heroes characters. So obviously this part is just speculation of like who the unit could be, but the Heroes EZAs have to fit in somewhere, and if it's not going to happen on the 28th when this new content comes out, then obviously it's not going to be happening in November, which means it will happen at some point later on, I guess. It is very annoying, like them announcing that they're still going to do these EZAs like over a year ago, but giving us absolutely no information or like advanced notice of like when the stuff is going to happen. But regardless, the two like time slots from the previous 2 years, we know we should be getting a Dokkan Fest coming out at the end of November. We already know that we've got an event dropping on the 28th. So realistically, all signs point to the 28th of November as being the next time that Dokkan actually is going to get any sort of big content release, because with no news or teasers today, with the fact that the social media cycle usually ends up being something being shown or revealed on Twitter, then a data download next day, then the release the next day, it means there's unlikely really anything to be shown tomorrow unless there's like a teaser for who the Dokkan Fest is going to be. Because then realistically, Tuesday morning, I guess Tuesday actually, because we're talking about Friday the 28th, not Thursday. So Monday or Tuesday there could be a teaser. And then in theory, it would be Twitter details and animations and everything on Wednesday morning, then Thursday data download, and then Friday the banner literally comes out and the new events with like the new Red Zone stage, all on the 28th. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. But yeah, unfortunately, it seems like the Goma celebration is all done in terms of content, unless we, I guess, are technically including this last Red Zone stage as part of like this campaign. But the next Dokkan Fest should be releasing on the 28th in this similar sort of end of November time slot. Hopefully it will come along with the Heroes EZAs. Otherwise, like, who knows how long we will actually have to wait for them if they don't come out at the end of this month. Hopefully sooner rather than later, but obviously we have no way to know at this point. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Obviously, for those of you who are the Heroes fans as well, let me know your thoughts on when we could possibly see them and what kind of things you'd be expecting. But yeah, let me know all your thoughts down below in the comment section. But I think Dokkan is basically now dry or dead completely until the 28th. We may get some news or teasers in the next couple of days, but it seems like content-wise, the celebration is well and truly over, and we are waiting until the 28th. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.